It is Eve with Tombstone Tea here again for another excellent episode of the Blues Hall of Fame legends, that inductees that were buried here in Chicago. We have covered all of the graves from 1980 until now. So we are now in 2013. 2013, where we are going to visit two cemeteries today. We're going to go back to Restville, where we visit the grave of Earl Hooker, and then we're going to go visit the grave of little brother Montgomery and Otis Clay over at Oakwoods Cemetery, off of 67th in Chicago. So I hope that you all are keeping up. We're almost done. So this is the grave of Earl Zebedee Hooker, inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame in 2013. All right, you guys. So apparently you all loved seeing my pretty face last time. I don't understand why, but I'll take it. So I am back here at Restville. Boop boop. It's actually pretty empty today. They're not really digging any graves. The semi just came in. But we are here at Restville to visit our first Blues Hall of Famer that we are going to cover today, and that is the grave of Earl Hooker. All right, so Earl Zebedee Hooker was a blues musician known for his electric slide guitar technique. He was born in 1930 in Mississippi, and he played with Sonny Boy Williamson II, Junior Wells, his cousin, who was John Lee Hooker, and he was influenced by T-Bone Walker and Robert Nighthawk. He came from a musical family. Like I said, John Lee Hooker, who is also inducted in the Blues Hall of Fame, was his cousin. And he moved to Chicago in the 1950s, where he immersed himself in the city's vibrant blues scene. His sound was heavily influenced by traditional Delta blues, but incorporated elements of the urban Chicago blues sound. And some of his most famous songs were The Hobo Blues, Two Bugs and a Roach, and Blues on the Moon. Um, in the 60s, he did the college circuit, and he also had a song dubbed over by Muddy. His song Blue Guitar was dubbed over by Muddy to You Shook Me. And he died here in Chicago, from complications from tuberculosis that he contracted when he was very young, in April of 1970 at the age of 40. So Earl Hooker rests right here in Restville, and you can find him on Find a Grave. It's pretty easy. He's resting right, honestly, near the front section where he is. And then the next grave that we're actually going to go visit today is the grave of little brother Montgomery. Now, Uriel little brother Montgomery was born in Louisiana in 1906, and he was a jazz musician. He did boogie woogie, blues. He was a pianist and a singer. He was of Creek Indian and African American ancestry, and he started playing the piano at the age of 4. At the age of 11, he left home to start playing the blues. He was influenced by Jelly Roll Morton, who was a family friend. He actually played at the lumber and turpentine camps for African Americans throughout Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And he also played rent parties in Chicago from 1928 to 1931. In 1931 to 1938, he was in a Mississippi jazz ensemble. He returned to Chicago again in 1941, where he stayed for the rest of his life, and he actually toured with his other fellow blues legend, Otis Rush. He toured Europe. He recorded under his own record labels, and his song Crescent City Blues served as the basis of the song by this Jordan Jenkins of the same name that was turned into Folsom Prison Blues by, of course, you all know, Johnny Cash. But he died in 1985, and he rests right over here in Oakwood Cemetery, where we also found the graves of Junior Wells, Otis Clay, we're going to actually visit next, and also Tom Dorsey is there. We also saw Ida B. Wells and a few others. And also Ben Wilson, which we covered his grave on our Patreon. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely check that out. Check out all of our Oakwood cemetery videos. But this is the final resting place of little brother Montgomery. And then last but not least, like I said, if you have not checked out our previous video that we did on Otis Clay, I think it is our Oakwood Cemetery part 2 or 3 that we did. So definitely check that out. Otis Clay was born in Mississippi and moved to Indiana in 1953 with his family. He was born in 1942. He did R&B, soul, gospel. He's inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame, the Gospel Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. He started touring with gospel groups in Mississippi, and he moved to Chicago in 1957. He recorded his first secular solo in 1962, and in 1965, he recorded with Wonderful Records. In 1967, he had his first hit on the pop charts. I mean, not on the pop charts, but on the Billboard charts. It was a number 34. Alligator Records bought out Wonderful Records, and so then he started recording R&B, soul, and pop, and he toured Europe and Japan and the U.S. and recorded 3 live albums in Japan, Switzerland, and he also won quite a few Grammys. So he died in 2016, and he rests here at Oakwood Cemetery as well. All right, y'all. So that covers all of our graves of the Blues Hall of Famers from 2013. We did Earl Hooker, Little Brother Montgomery, and Otis Clay. And I hope to see you all next time on Tombstone Tea, where we go ahead and continue on. So now we are getting into 2015 and later. We are almost at the end, y'all. Almost at the end. So if you're hanging on, I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. As always, we have great things going on our Patreon channel. Just click the link in our bio. Just go to view channel. Click the link to our Patreon and just go ahead and subscribe. And we will see you next time on Tombstone Tea, where we will be finishing up our Blues Hall of Famers.